Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. And welcome back, No Contact Army. I hope you've all been good little soldiers and stayed in no contact. And if you too want to join the No Contact Army, just hit the subscribe button. And if you want to check out the No Contact Army manual, you can read 2 free chapters at nocontactsecrets.com. Today I want to talk about how to get over your ex. I have an email from a former client of mine who did just that, and I want to go through her story, let you know what happened and what is happening, and tell you how you too can get over an ex. All right, so she starts with, I met him shortly after I got out of a very toxic and serious relationship, which in hindsight was a huge mistake because we all need to take time to heal and focus on ourselves after a situation like that. Absolutely right. Don't just jump into another situation to help you get over the other situation, because at some point it's just not going to work. It's not going to go as planned because you still haven't gotten over the other person. Okay, we instantly clicked and got very serious very fast. Another mistake. And I talk about this in my video about the top 3 dating mistakes. You've already made 2. And I have barely started the email. You have to go slow. You have to go slow because you want to find out who you're dealing with. I see that every time people rush in, they're just as quick to rush out. You gain nothing by moving so fast. Why are you so desperate? When you move that fast, it's like, why are you allowing someone to come into your life that quickly and give them that much time when they haven't earned it? People who are discerning about who they let into their lives, they don't just start seeing someone 2, 3, 4 times a week. It's like, no, I don't know who you are. It's like, I have a good life, I have a great life, and I don't want anything or anyone to screw it up. So I'm not going to give you all this time until I know who you are and who I'm dealing with. And the categories. Okay, moving on. He told me he was in love with me very quickly, and we spent as much time together as possible, which was also a huge mistake. Again, and I've mentioned this in other videos, that when someone says I love you that fast, they're either delusional or they're playing you, and I don't know which one is worse. Okay, so we see already a lot of mistakes. We had been dating for a few months and were already in very deeply, as she already said. We'd gone away for the weekend, had an amazing time with his family. However, a week later, he broke up with me out of the blue. Well, it's not really out of the blue, because if you consider the fact that he said I love you so fast and you move very quickly, it's like, no, this is something to be expected. But yeah, as you can see, moving quickly, saying I love you, you think, oh my God, this is a fairy tale, it's going to be great. It's very possible, and it's probable, that all of a sudden they put the brakes on. It's like, not so fast. He was crying hysterically, and he said he loved me, but never felt like I was fully over my ex. He also blamed the breakup on his own mental health issues and begged me to stay in his life and be his friend because of that. Looking back now, I see that was a manipulation. I agreed to stay friends. A mistake, of course, and we would equally reach out to each other here and there the following month. When out of nowhere again, it's not out of nowhere, he told me he's changed his mind and he did not want to be friends. I mean, wow, talk about humiliating. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't even have agreed to friendship in the first place because you're demoted. When you agree to be friends, you've been demoted. It's like you were the CEO and now we're putting you to work in the mailroom. It's like, hey, we're firing you. You're no longer the CEO. But hey, if you want to stick around in the mailroom, come on, do it. Like, who in their right mind would agree to that? They'll be like, hell no, I'm not sticking around. I'm going to go and be the CEO somewhere else. I'm not going to work in the mailroom. That's what you're doing when you're agreeing to be friends. And now you agreed to work in the mailroom and they're firing you from the mailroom. He fired her from the mailroom. It's like, nah, you know what? Nah, you're not even good enough to be a friend of mine. Never, ever, ever agree to be friends. Okay. I found out 2 days later he was dating someone. Gee, what a surprise. I instantly went to no contact at that point, which I obviously wish I had done from the beginning. Okay, so then that's when I come in. Finally. When I had my session with you, you urged me to stay in no contact and said that my ex would be, in fact, back at some point. Depending on what you tell me about the situation when we have our session, I'm usually pretty good at determining whether you're going to hear from someone or not. It's not an intuition, it's just years of experience. And people are always surprised because they think they're not going to hear from their ex. And I go, no. I remember this one time, this one guy, he also was seeing a therapist. And he said, well, my therapist said I'm never going to hear from my ex again. And I said, yeah, no, that's not true. I said, you're probably going to hear from your ex within the next week. And who do you think was right? Yes, that would be me. He did hear from his ex the next week. Okay. You also made some great points about evaluating this relationship because there were many red flags, including mental health issues, and to decide if this was something I even wanted. Yeah, I mean, if you come for coaching and you want to get your ex back, that's fine. As long as there hasn't been physical abuse, I will help you get your ex back. However, if I see a lot of red flags, then I would be remiss to not at least mention that, you know what, you might want to rethink this about getting back with this person because I see this, and this issue. I'll help you get your ex back, but, keep this in mind. So I'm planting a seed so that you'll see that maybe you really don't want to get your ex back. Okay. And I emailed you again only days after we spoke to tell you that he was already in another relationship. You told me to stay strong, in no contact, and to not react. I listened. I never reacted to anything at all. Great. You can't get in trouble if you don't react. So she listened. Good for her. He would post certain things that I personally felt was to get my attention. He even went as far as to speak negatively about me to mutual friends and said things he knew would get back to me. But I continued to stay in no contact and did not react or reach out. Way to go, girl. I guess when that didn't work, see what happens when you don't react? He tried a new approach. Within the last month or two, he has been now going around to mutual friends saying how awful and guilty he feels for his actions and behavior. Oh, well. Look who changed their tune when you didn't react. Right? That's why I say do not react. Stay in no contact until they say something significant. He has said that he knows he completely effed everything up and he feels horrible. I'm 28 years old and I'm mentally and physically in the best space in my life. I recently bought my own home and have grown as a woman in so many ways. I've barely dated since him simply because I have been focusing on myself and my own personal growth. For the first time in years, I feel completely content and at peace with who I am and where my life is at this moment. And guess who resurfaces once I'm happy? Gee, who could that be that resurfaced? 10 months after the last time we spoke, this man came back from the dead. Hallelujah. That's my hallelujah, not hers. He first reached out to my best friend, who he also has not spoken to. Yeah, a lot of exes seem to reach out to friends first because they're afraid to contact you directly, so they're trying to get in through the back door. He sends a paragraph explaining how he desperately needs to get in touch with me because he deleted the work that he had saved on his computer, and I'm the only person on the planet who has a copy. I instantly knew he was lying and using this as an excuse to speak to me because when we were together, he had everything saved on multiple drives. I highly doubted every single thing that was suddenly gone 10 months later. Right, true. And the timing of him preaching on his guilt was quite convenient as well. He's also very prideful and would have had to come up with an excuse to talk to me. I told my friend to ignore him. He continued harassing my friends, trying to get them to get me to answer him. He DM'd me on social media as well, asking if I had blocked his number since I didn't answer there. Still, I did not respond. I ended up finding his work buried in a box, and I just mailed it to him yesterday without him asking for it. No contact, no letter, no response, nothing. Boy, talk about not reacting. The old me would have called him out, would have texted him instantly, would have given him a piece of my mind, and would have participated in a conversation waiting on an apology. But the new me needs and wants nothing from this man. And see, that's what happens when you get over someone. You don't care about an apology. You don't care about a reaction. You don't care about anything. And in fact, you don't even hate them. You just don't care. Because the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. I cannot tell you exactly what his motives were, but I personally feel he was trying to test the waters, of course, to see how I was feeling and was trying to regain access to me for whatever reason. He was asking my friends if I hate him, and the truth is I do not. Right. I don't care enough about him anymore to have any more hate towards him. That's what I just said. I do have a feeling I will hear from him at some point because of how I handled the situation. You probably will. It feels amazing to have grown to this point and to not even want to allow this person to have any type of access to me whatsoever. Anyway, no contact works mostly for yourself. Focus on yourself, put you first, and I promise when they do come back, because they always do eventually, well, not always, but a lot of the times you do hear from them, you won't even care anymore, and you will be on to bigger and better things. Even now, as I'm writing this, I received a text from a friend stating that he's trying to make plans for this weekend to go to a spot by my house that he has never been to before, a spot that I go to almost every weekend with my friends, and he knows that. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if she's going to go. I'll have to find out. Part B of this story. So that is how you get over an ex. That's the best way. Work on yourself. A relationship cannot be the center of your world. It can't be the only thing you have in your world. That's just not how it works anymore. You need to have other things going on in your life, things you're excited about. You have to have dreams. You have to start focusing on your goals and your dreams. And that will make it easier to either stay in no contact if you want them back, or you may just find out that you would rather move on. So you need to level up in all areas of your life, physically, financially, etc. Most people are not maximizing their looks, as I've talked about in other videos. And it's just a fact of life that the more attractive you are, the easier it is to attract people. Now, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to keep them if you don't know what you're doing, but at least you have a lot more people to choose from, and you don't have to stay with someone or keep hoping that someone will return just because you don't have a lot of choices. A girlfriend of mine years ago, she was pretty, and but she wasn't maximizing her looks. So we would go out, she and I, and then a guy friend, so the little trio. And I would get most of the attention. And then she actually asked him, she's like, how come Lucia's always getting all the attention? And he said, well, because, look at how she looks. And so she finally decided to level up because of a guy that was rejecting her. She's like, oh, I'm going to, make myself look better. And she did. And whoa, she got so much attention. And she didn't even really do that much. She just lightened her hair. She let it grow. She got eyelash extensions. She dressed different. Just a few tweaks, it's not like she had to get surgery or anything. And the change was amazing. So I definitely recommend leveling up with the looks, and I do coaching for that. I can help you with your makeover. I can look at someone and instantly know what they need to do to look better. Doesn't mean that you need to do everything I tell you, but at least you'll have a list of things that you can work on slowly if you want to. And then in terms of financially, how can you create more money? We could all use more money, except maybe Jeff Bezos. It gives you confidence when you don't have to worry about paying the bills, and you can do more things and better things in your life, right? You can go to go on more trips, go to the spa, go to concerts, get better seats, whatever you want to do. Just have more choices in life of what to do. So focus on you, and that is how you get over an ex. And then when they try to come back, you may find that you've leveled up so much that they're not even in your league anymore, and you don't even want them. It's like, ew, why would I date you? Look at me over here, and look at you over there. So hopefully this has been helpful, and if you would like my help personally, to level up, to get an ex back, then you can contact me at theartoflove.net. The direct link is below, and you can find out the rates for private coaching. If you are listening on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. If you're listening on any podcast and you're able to, I would appreciate if you can rate and review the podcast. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.